Okay, we're now going to look at a straight line called a median, M-E-D-I-A-N. Okay, so a median is a straight line. That comes from a vertex. So a vertex is just the corner of the triangle. So it comes from a vertex and cuts the opposite line in the middle. Okay, so that's a median. Each triangle, any triangle, has 3 medians, just like each triangle has got 3 altitudes and 3 perpendicular bisectors. So there's a sketch of a triangle. Now medians, there's no indication that it's got anything to do with right angles. It doesn't say that. What it says is it's a straight line. So if it's a straight line, you'll need a point that lies on the line and you'll need the gradient to find the equation of the straight line and put it into y minus b equals n bracket x minus a. Okay, so it comes from a vertex. So if I was to say that this was a triangle ABC, if I was to say note the median that comes from A, well, it comes from the vertex and it would cut the opposite line in the middle. So that would be the median from A. The median from B comes from B, cuts the opposite line in the middle. And the one from C comes from C and cuts the opposite line in the middle. Okay, so what would be involved here is midpoints. So remember that to find the equation of a median, well, it's the equation of a straight line. I need point and I need gradient. So let's try some examples, but let's first of all just go over it again. It's a straight line that comes from a vertex, comes from a corner, and it cuts opposite line in the middle. Each triangle has got 3 medians. Let's try an example 1 to get going. Okay, so example 1, triangle ABC has coordinates A32, B58 and C112. The question is find the equation of the median Bn. Okay, so let's first of all draw out what that triangle might look like. Okay, so there's the point B, which is 5,8. There's the point A, which is 3,2, and there is the point C, which is 11,2. Now let's sketch in what the median would look like. Okay, so the median is coming from B and it cuts the opposite line in the middle, and we're told that the line's called Bn, so that would be n. Okay, right, so to find the equation of the median, well, the median is a straight line, so what we need is we need a point and we need to find the gradient. Okay, well, we've got a point, so what's the point? Well, it's not A and it's not C because they don't lie in the line. The point lies on the line is B, 5,8. So that can serve as my point, so I'm going to call that AB. Now my next task is to find the gradient. So to find the gradient, I'll need 2 points that lie on the line. I've only got one of the points that lies on the line. So how am I going to get the second point? Well, that is the midpoint. So what we need to do is find the midpoint using the midpoint formula. So it would be the midpoint of AC. So that's going to be x1 plus x2 over 2. That's your midpoint formula. You'll remember using that from the perpendicular bisector stuff. Okay, so there's x1, 3, there's x2, 11. So it's 3 plus 11 over 2. And then y1 plus y2 will be 2 plus 2 over 2. Okay, 3 plus 11 is 14, 14 over 2 is 7, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 over 2 is 2, so the midpoint then, I'm going to mark that in, is 7, 2. Now what that now allows me to do is to find the gradient of the line, because I've got 2 points that lie on the line, so I'm now going to call that x1, y1, x2, y2, and find the gradient. So it's going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so y2 minus y1, 2 minus 8, over x2 minus x1, 7 minus 5. Okay, 2 minus 8 is minus 6, 7 minus 5 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3, so minus 6 divided by 2 is minus 3, so the gradient of the line is minus 3. Now I've got 2 points that lie in the line, I've got this one and I've got this one, so it doesn't matter which one I choose, as long as I've got a point that lies on the line, I'll get the same answer. So if you choose that point and somebody else chooses that point, you'll both get the correct answer. Right, so let's go for this one, so I'm calling that A, B. I could use that one, but I've decided to go for this one. So there's A, there's B, and there's the gradient M. And I'm going to sub that into y minus b equals m bracket x minus a. So that's y minus b, which is 8, equals the gradient minus 3, bracket x minus a, which is 5. Okay, so keep going. Y minus 8 equals minus 3x. Minus 3 times minus 5 is plus 15. Bring the minus 8 across, change its sign. It'll be minus 3x plus 15 plus 8. And that's minus 3x plus 23. Final answer. Okay, let's try an example 2. Example 2, I've got triangle ABC. Has vertices A3 minus 7, B 8, 1, and C 4 minus 3. Find the equation of the median from A. Okay, first thing that I'm going to do is absolutely sketch it out. That's dead important to get that done. So sketch out a decent sketch of it, which might look a bit like that. So that will be B81. There's A3 minus 7. And then there finally is C4 minus 3. Okay, so I'm looking for the median from A. So remember, it comes from the vertex, it comes from the point A, and it cuts the opposite line in the middle. Okay, not at a right angle, it's got nothing to do with that, it cuts it in the middle. Okay, so how do I find the equation of the median? Well, what is a median? It's a straight line, so I need point and gradient. Okay, so I've already got a point. Now I'll be able to generate a second point, and I could use either, but I could just immediately say, right, that's the point I'm going to use, call that AB. How am I going to get the gradient? Well, I'll need 2 points to lie on the line for that one. How do I get my second point? Well, just like I did last time, I'm going to have to find the midpoint of CB. So remember that that's x1, y1, and that's x2, y2, and I use the midpoint formula. Remember to get the midpoint formula right. Don't confuse it with y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's a completely different formula. It's an average of the x coordinates, x1 plus x2 over 2, and an average of the y coordinates, y1 plus y2 over 2. Make sure you're using the correct points. It's this point and this point, but nothing to do with this point. So it's going to be 4 plus 8 over 2. And minus 3 plus 1 over 2. Okay, 4 plus 8 is 12, 2 over 2 is 6, minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2, minus 2 over 2 is minus 1. Let's now feed that into the diagram. That's the point 6 minus 1. What I can now do is use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the gradient of this red line. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, so it's going to be minus 1 minus minus 1 minus minus 7 minus 1 minus minus 7 over 6 minus 3. Okay, so minus 1 minus minus 7. That's minus 1 plus 7. Over 6 minus 3 is 3. Minus 1 plus 7, take your time with that. Really take your time with that. That's 6. 6 over 3, and the gradient of the line is 2. The gradient of the line is 2. So I need a point that lies on the line. I could choose this one, but I've already plumped for this one earlier on, so let's go for that, although it doesn't matter. So there's A, there's B, there's M into Y minus B equals M bracket X minus A. Y minus B. So that's minus 7y minus minus 7 is equal to gradient 2 bracket X minus A, which is 3. Okay, let's keep going with it. Y plus 7 is equal to 2 bracket X minus 3. Y plus 7 is equal to 2x minus 6. Bring that across, change its sign. Y equals 2x minus 6 minus 7, and that's y equals 2x minus 13. Final answer. Okay, so now you're going to try one. Triangle MFP has vertices, that's corners, M 4 minus 6, F 2 8, and P minus 8 4. Find the equation of the median which passes through the midpoint of FP. The first thing that I would do is definitely sketch it out, get a reasonable sketch as to what that might look like. Now, think about the median and what it does. It comes from a corner, it comes from a vertex, and it cuts an opposite line in the middle. Now, think about where it would come from if it cuts FP in the middle. Well, if you think about it, if it cuts FP in the middle, where does it come from? It must come from M. So it's going to come from M, and it's going to cut FP in the middle. So what you're looking at is to get the midpoint of FP. It comes from M, so when you've got the point M, that can be used as AB. You're looking for the midpoint to get your second point. Now, why are you looking for a second point? Because you'll then use M and that second point to find the gradient. Once you get the gradient, you then get 2 points in the line. You can just choose one of them. I'd probably choose that one, but it doesn't matter. You could choose the midpoint as well and sub it into y minus b equals m bracket x minus a.